Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, non-binaries of all ages, welcome to How to Make a Literal Cat in Your Favorite RPG. If you're here to learn character creation, you've come to the wrong place. This is the Cat Creation Podcast. I am one of your hosts. My name's Joel.
I'm another one of your hosts. My name's Austin.
What's new with you this week, Austin?
Oh, a lot is new with me this week, Joel, but I'll save that.
Oh, we don't actually have that much time. Can you condense it to like a few sentences?
It's bad.
I'm sorry to hear that.
But some of it is good.
Well, if some of it's good.
Hopefully you're doing well.
Some car trouble.
Would you believe it? I had some car trouble too.
Yeah, seems like that time of year.
It really is. But, you know, it is this time of week where we record this lovely podcast. And, you know, sometimes we bring people in to help us record. You know, Joel and I can't do it all, everybody.
No, we don't know every system.
Yeah, no. Sometimes we need an expert to come in, give us the lowdown on what's going on. And today, we have one of those experts. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, folks. My name is Kevin, though you could most likely find me everywhere as the Lawful Geek. I do stuff on YouTube around gaming and a lot of tabletop RPGs. And I am the crazy person that runs about 4 or 5 concurrent games.
So you actually like run them, like you're the GM in all of these?
Yeah, all of the games that go on my channel at the moment, I'm running all of them, and it's D&D, Shadowrun, Vampire, and one we call our Peanuts, which in every arc we switch to a different universe. Think Sliders or Quantum Leap. But with every universe, the RPG system changes as well.
That's cool.
It's a lot.
Also, a Kids on Bikes game, and I'm recording a few others at the moment.
Wow. You do a lot.
Nice.
Yeah, I should maybe pace myself. But, you know, it'll happen at some point.
Well, luckily for you, this is not a continuous thing. So we'll only keep you for maybe an hour or so.
Yep. So good of you to join us on today, this very special day, the birthday of Mewtwo, to talk about Scion.
Yeah.
Man, I didn't realize it was Mewtwo's birthday. I must have missed that.
Yep.
Cinema postcard.
February 6th.
I mean, it's appropriate. We're talking about a game where, you know, it's designed for you to play a demigod and eventually a god, and we're talking about a Pokemon with nearly godlike power.
Yeah, it seems fitting, I guess. I nearly forgot that was today, and then someone reminded me, so I'm passing it along. Of course, by the time our audience hears this, Mewtwo's birthday will be long over, but...
Correct. It's alright. They'll still care. And, you know, if you missed Mewtwo's birthday, just give him a shout-out. I'm sure he'll appreciate it.
Yeah.
Sorry, did we mention the game that we're doing?
Did we?
I think briefly, I can do it.
Yeah.
Given that you've introduced me as the expert, I might as well do it. So the game we're going to be creating the cat on today is Scion. It was originally released as a limited series or limited product line by White Wolf way back when. And it was an over-the-top game of demigods in the modern era. Think something like Percy Jackson and the Olympians, but way more over the top. Eventually, Onyx Path Publishing got the rights, and they started making a second edition, which is the one we'll be using today. And they made a change where the original, for the first edition, immediately put you in the shoes of a starting demigod, which is, in the game term, is a hero. The second edition actually allows you to start earlier than that, when you're just an exceptional human, or in this case, a very exceptional cat.
Great.
That's every cat, though, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true.
Now, see, I love this premise. Percy Jackson was my thing as a kid, and...
Mine, too.
According to the show I've been obsessing over for the past few weeks, is still my thing as an adult.
It's a very good show.
It's so good.
Yeah, they did a good job on that one.
Truly redeems the The fact that they did a movie before that was
They did
not as good.
They did 2 movies.
We don't have to talk about that.
Little known fact.
I heard the second one, not as bad. Never gave it a chance.
I didn't either. I didn't even
Yeah,
want to try.
the first one, for me, it was a one and done.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That movie was so bad. Me and a bunch of friends went to go see it because we were like all super into Percy Jackson, and we were like, "Oh my gosh, this is gonna be so great." We all walked out.
I fortunately did not make the decision to go see that movie in like a movie theater.
Mm-hmm.
I watched it much later and was thoroughly disappointed.
Yep. I rented it like a couple years later. I was like, I'll give it another shot. Maybe it wasn't that bad. I watched the whole thing and decided, nope, still bad.
Like, I think the thing that, like, struck me about it is, like, they changed the plot to a low-budget PlayStation 2 platformer RPG.
That's a very apt description.
Yeah. Man, they killed it on the CGI, though, man. This stuff looked cool.
Yeah, and that movie is a terrible waste of Pierce Brosnan.
That's all right though. Let's use our talents to create a demigod that can befriend or be rivals with Percy Jackson. Not affiliated.
Yeah. This is actually our second demigod cat.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah. Sometime last year, we did the Demigods Powered by the Apocalypse RPG, where we made a silver-tongued trickster.
Interesting. I'm looking forward to the day you do a cat on overarms, so you can make the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure cat.
Oh, I've got incredible news for you.
Yeah, great news. We did overarms.
Wonderful.
Yeah, go listen to the anime summer season subset of episodes. It's one of the last ones.
I will have to do that.
Anyway, so this is edgy Percy Jackson because it's White Wolf. So
yeah,
let's go make our much more edgy starting demigod-ish cat.
Since we're using Scion Origin, this will be the earliest possible stage. This is literally just a cat. Exceptional, but still not divine.
Gotcha.
We can then, if there's time, we can, do the bit of add-on that something like hero or demigod allow you to do.
We don't need to do that.
Okay.
Let's just get through the basics here. Maybe sometime in the future we can revisit the later books and see what they can do to expand on this character.
Sounds good. So first thing we'll need is the concept. Concept is very much a sentence that describes your character. Eye laser himbo, cardiac surgeon taxi driver. Just a simple sentence that overall describes the theme of the character. And honestly, just a cat is one hell of a concept.
All right. Well, I don't think there's a place to put that in the character sheet, but I think it'll be easy to remember.
That's more for you as a player too.
That's our guiding principle.
Gotcha.
Exactly.
Gotcha. Okay, so our concept, just a cat.
The next bit, according to the character creation at the very least, is the deed. So Scion uses a method for advancement, so to speak, that is based on actions in games. More almost like a milestone system where you need to accomplish the deeds you put forward, and that goes into how much experience you get. There are 3 kinds: short, long, and the band or group deed, which we can ignore because that's more of a table wide goal.
Oh, we did forget to do something, Joel.
Oh yeah, that's right. We never read off our rules as the show. Before we go any further, we should probably do that.
Yep. Would you like to start us off?
Yep. So, first off, we accept no cop-outs. Just like our concept says, we're making a cat. The exact animal that comes to mind when I say the word. No bobcats, no, I don't know, what's some other, no anthropomorphic races, no people turned into cats, lions, tigers, no other cop-outs you can imagine either.
Rule number 2 is we can't use homebrew rules. They don't exist. If the rules in the rulebook don't allow us to do something, we count it as a rule broken. And if we come across rules as written versus rules as intended, we go with whichever one tells us no.
If the game includes stats for a literal cat, those must be used or adapted to the game's character sheet.
Have we looked this up? Do we know if this game has stats for a cat?
I already looked it up. I couldn't find any for second edition.
All right.
What about first edition?
First edition, I would need to go through about 10 books to try to find one.
Never mind, we're good.
Yeah. Rule number 4 is the character class background playbook job, what have you, must exist in the game's core rules or as part of an official expansion. We are not looking at official expansions today, but we cannot use homebrew classes. Again, homebrew isn't real.
Rule number 5, the cat can learn any skill available to its class, even if it's not something a cat could normally be trained to do, or would, do on its own.
Rule number 6 is if a tool would be physically impossible for a literal cat to use, even if comically downsized for them, they cannot use it. So, I've given plenty of examples of this. Let's move on.
No kitty shurikens.
Yeah, correct.
Well, we do need a new goal for a weapon that we can find some convoluted logic for a cat to use this year.
It's true.
We had the Katana the Katana was our second year. We filled that out almost right away. Cat Gun was our first year. We're going into our third as a show, so we could say the Cat Shuriken, next goal.
I think that's a good goal, They don't have opposable thumbs, so I feel like it'd be really hard to make a cat that can use them.
Yeah.
I mean, recently I was playing a video game called Sea of Stars, and in it there was a frog that throws a shuriken.
Well,
that's even harder.
Pokemon did that a long time ago.
Yeah, that's true.
Greninja did it first. Actually, how old is Sea of Stars? I don't actually know.
It's about a year ago, so from last year.
Yep. Greninja did it first.
Yeah.
Anyway, rule number 7 is if a character sheet has a section that's meant to be filled out in collaboration with the whole table, we have to leave that blank so potential players can make it fit the group they're playing with. So that thing you were talking about like group achievements, we're not going to do those.
That is what reminded me of our show's rules. And last but definitely not least, rule number 8 is we have to keep track of every rule that we break. That is it for us. So far, no rules broken, from what I understand.
No rules broken. Going back to the deeds, the short term is something that you can accomplish, let's say, in session on the game session. It's just something you want to do right away. Long term is meant to be something like a character arc. So, for example, an example of the short term could be get my next meal. It's a cat,
Yeah.
Sounds reasonable. Long term will be adopt a human. Could be an example.
I like that idea. So
that could work.
So we need 3 of these.
2, because the last one is the group one, and that one's getting skipped.
Yep.
Looks like down here it says it helps to assign a theme or unifying phrase to a deed, such as conviction, duty, endurance, expression, harmony, intellect, justice, so on and so forth.
Those aren't really necessary. They're more for guidance, really.
Yeah. We can think about some short-term goals. Get the next meal is a good one.
Yeah.
We could use a short-term, we'll use a long-term goal to help kind of shape this cat to short-term. Are there any other ideas?
I don't know. I think getting fed, probably decent short-term goal focus on.
I can't imagine that a cat is worried about too much more than that in the short term. To be honest, there are some days I'm not much more worried about anything else than getting my next meal.
I think that applies to most of us.
Okay, so our long-term deed, what kind of arc do we want this cat to have?
Learn to throw the shuriken.
No, I don't think this is the episode where we fulfill the cat shuriken. That's probably going to be some sci-fi thing.
It usually is some sci-fi thing.
I had to give it a go. Think of it as an ambition that this cat has for its future.
lit by the flame of ambition. Heard that line before. Using Elden Ring as an example, just because it's the first thing that came to mind with that, was maybe this cat is in search of some power, perhaps? Cats, I feel like, already have some minor natural affinity of thinking they're better than everything else around them.
It could very well be something like, finding a group.
That too, yeah,
Maybe they seek the power to rule.
Rule what exactly? Who knows? That's why we gotta kind of leave it a little vague. I like that though, seeking the power to rule, just in a general sense.
Claim power.
It's a good way to word it. Claim power.
I don't know. I think claim power is very broad and unfocused. Seek the power to rule. Like, that gives you, like, a specific type of power.
True. Yeah, because claiming power could be,
that
like, anything, plugging in a toaster.
Yeah, yeah, if I have the power to shoot lightning out of my fingers, then that makes me better than you, but it doesn't necessarily give me the power to take over the government.
I see. We can reword it. Seek the power to rule.
I'm seeing this arc. Eventually, the cat's long-term deed will be create a shadow government.
Do you think a cat would rule secretly, or do you think they'd be like really loud and proud about it?
Depends on the cat.
That's true. I think it does depend on the cat. We'll figure that out once this cat develops more of a personality.
Yeah.
But we are skipping the band term,
which takes us to probably the most important bit, which is paths. Paths are, again, much like everything else, it's a sentence that describes an aspect of the character. In this case, it's 3 of them. The first is origin, which is very much the background, how this character got their start. For example, alley cat is a possibility. You also, have the examples in the book for like for example, child soldier in a war zone, that sort of thing. The next one is profession, or very much what they do on a daily basis, anything that they are skilled in, which is, that one's a bit more of a stretch with a cat, but it's not profession, it's role. There's more role in their occupation or area for expertise. And the last one is society, or if it's the demigod or pantheon, that's very much what they are in their community or the people around them, or as part of an organization.
Gotcha.
And what you do is you describe it as a sentence, and then from the list of skills, you pick 3 of them and assign them to that path. And skills can be in more than one path.
Origin path. Book says the origin path is a character's background, how she got started. While origin may refer to a character's upbringing, it does not have to. Rather, a player should think through their character's backstory about the events that were most formative.
So, for our cat, that could be like, I don't know, probably just like alley cat, right? Like,
yeah.
Depends. Is this a street cat or a breeder or adopted house cat?
I like the idea of a cat that was born to a breeder and then escaped to become an alley cat. That's kind of where their journey started, is leaving the pet store on their own.
That could work.
Runaway kitten is the path.
Yeah. That sound good?
Yeah, I'm into that.
Role is up next. So what role? The role path is the character's occupation or area of expertise. The profession is not just what the character does, but is part of how she defines herself. She seeks out opportunities to practice her profession and hone her skills related to it. So this is a cat who strikes it out on their own, has the desire to rule. Perhaps they are a leader of some other alley cats. Maybe they...
Top cat.
A what?
Top cat.
Top cat?
It's a old Hanna-Barbera cartoon.
I've not heard of this.
I am dating myself terribly with this one.
That's okay. That's also the thing that Meowth wants to be. If anyone remembers Ash Ketchum as the protagonist of Pokemon.
Hey, he's not the protagonist, or he just became not the protagonist, so that's still fresh.
True.
But yeah, Top Cat I think is a good concise way to put the role.
That could also be the one for society.
Oh,
If you want to read the society one.
gotcha.
Yeah, I think that might be better as society, and then expertise could be, like, the role path, like, could be an area of expertise, is what it says here. So, it might be better to give this cat, like, their role in society is the top cat, but their area of expertise is the streets and back alleys.
Okay, yeah.
Like, I know the streets and back alleys.
So navigation.
Something like scout or explorer could be a good term for it.
Explorer, I like that. Yeah, that's how you spell that. Okay, is that it for paths?
Yeah. Then the next step is for each of them, pick out 3 skills.
So for a runaway...
So for the runaway, I'm thinking athletics is a good option.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I need you running away. Maybe some subterfuge for that stealth.
Yep.
Because there isn't specific stealth. In Scion, the more or less the combination of attribute and skill define its intent. So subterfuge can work. It's lying, stealth. It all depends on the combination.
Okay. I think survival would be
that
a
makes
good
sense.
third one then, too, for runaway.
Perhaps. Let's see it. Yeah, I think survival is probably our next best bet here. Because, like, most of the other things that I would want to put here are attributes and not skills.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then for our next one, the explorer, it would more or less be the same ones, I think.
Yeah.
Unless there is something we can switch.
I think putting another one in survival for explorer makes a lot of sense.
Yep. Athletics and survival for sure. Maybe close combat?
Close combat for sure.
Yeah, I think that might come in more handy for this role specifically than more subterfuge would.
Mm-hmm. And then for top cat, I think our first one has to be leadership, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would say persuasion is a possibility. Because both persuasion and subterfuge, depending on the circumstance, can be used in place of intimidation, for example. So the social ones apply.
So leadership, persuasion, and then...
We can go for close combat again.
Well, what kind of leader are we?
Yeah, are we a brutal leader?
That's the question.
Because empathy could be a good one for...
Close combat could work. Subterfuge could work. But also, if we are a leader who like actually cares about our subjects, empathy could work.
Yeah, let's do empathy. Just also so we don't stack too much. Okay, so here's how you actually put points on the skills. You will take the 3 paths and organize them into primary, secondary, and tertiary. In terms of, for the character, which one is the most important in defining who they are, which one comes second, and which one comes last.
Okay. I think Runaway Kitten would come last, because that's just how they got their start. But they plan, if you're become a leader, you plan to stay,
Yeah, I think that's got to be our primary.
Primary or tertiary?
Origin is definitely tertiary.
Tertiary, yeah.
So Top Cat should probably be our primary then, right?
That's what I'm thinking.
Gotcha.
And that makes Explorer our secondary.
Okay, so on the skills assigned to the primary, those get 3 points each.
Oh, okay.
So those skills were leadership. So leadership should have 3.
Yeah. Empathy and persuasion.
Yep.
Okay, then for the secondary, it's 2 points. And we said it was survival, athletics, and close combat.
Yep. So the survival and athletics already have 2. Close combat also 2.
Okay. And then for the tertiary, 1 point, which is an extra point on survival, an extra point on athletics, and 1 more point, and the 1 point on
subterfuge is already good.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're not that sneaky, but
yeah,
it was good enough to get away.
Mm-hmm.
For every skill that ends with 3 points or more, you may, I think it's may, the language. Oh no, it's choose a specialty. Specialty is really, it's very open-ended. There are examples in each skill, but for example, we can say for subterfuge, for example, would be stealth. For athletics, it could very well be jumping.
All right, but that's only for ones with 3 or more.
Yeah, just 3 or more.
So athletics, like if we want to specify that one, I think either parkour or graceful landings, I think is our athletic.
Let's go. I would say graceful landing would be the most cat-like.
Yeah,
True.
I agree. And do we want to have another specialty? We got 4 others that we could put a specialty on.
Yeah. So empathy.
My spacebar has decided to stop working.
Oh no.
So yeah, sorry. Empathy.
I can't think of anything for empathy.
Empathy, this is where you would use something like sense motive, reading a room, reading a person, gauging intent, which for a cat would be, does someone mean me harm? Are they a danger? So gauging intent, or straight up using D&D terminology, sense motive would be a good one for empathy. And it would fit for a cat.
I like that, yeah. Trust me, my new cat, Suki, she can sense my motive every time I want to pick her up because she runs away. It's funny. She only occasionally likes being held, but when she wants to be, she'll let you know. Okay, our next one with 3 is leadership. Now, I do want to ask, just for sake of me and for the listeners, if it has 3 points in it, do we have to put a specialty in it or no?
I would say I'm on. Let me reread this section real quick.
It kind of makes it sound like we're supposed to.
Gotcha.
Yeah, choose a specialty. Specialties are only free during character creation.
Oh, okay. So yeah.
So after that, you need to pay for them. So it's more or less of they're free. You might as well get one.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
So an easy one for our top cat for leadership could be orders. When giving orders.
Mm-hmm.
Is that specifically ordering other cats or just giving orders in general?
I think in the context of the cat, it will be ordering subjects, perhaps, given that they're the top, the ruler of their cat group.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
One of the fun examples that I have for leadership in the book is indoctrination.
That's great.
Yeah, fun examples.
Which is not sinister at all.
No, never.
Let's see, persuasion. Well, hate to state the obvious, but Puss in Boots Eyes?
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go ahead and automatically put that one down.
Yeah, that's perfect.
And then finally, survival.
Tracking
is good.
Tracking's good. I also had the thought of like knowing a weird place. I don't know how to phrase this other than like dumpster diving, which is not necessarily the right.
Like
No, I think that's
like,
perfect. I think that's perfect.
Like foraging.
Foraging would be the correct term.
But
dumpster diving is very, very theme appropriate.
Yes.
But like knowing how to find resources in places you might not think to look for them is what
foraging.
It's like street cat knows where to go to look for food.
It's urban foraging.
Yeah. I'll just put it in parentheses.
Urban foraging. There you go.
People looking at this just know if they ever forget.
Yeah.
Okay, so with that we have all the skills of the cat, and we then need to break any rules. Because here's the fun bit. You can only skills can, as I mentioned, skills can be part of more than one path. They specifically can be part of up to 2 paths. So we didn't break that rule.
Gotcha. Okay.
We didn't even think about it.
I was waiting to see if we broke that rule because it would be fun to make the call on that.
Well, I think if that was a rule that like we didn't have to break that to make a literal cat, so we probably would have just gone back and fixed it.
Yeah. When we talk about breaking our rules for the show, like Joel said, it's in terms of like the game would intend for us to play as a human and we're playing as a cat instead. That's us breaking the game rules. Not so much in the sense of like breaking a game's rules just for fun, but like if we had to say put an extra point in athletics to justify it being a cat, stuff like that.
Okay. Makes sense.
Hey guys, welcome to the mid-roll. Hope the episode's been going well for you, hearing about all those demigod-ish things.
Yeah, lots of information to soak in this one, you know?
Yep.
We have some stuff to promote / talk about for a minute, if you are unfamiliar with the concept of mid-rolls.
Yeah. So, first off, let's talk about the show real quick. You can find us online by going to literalcatpod.start.page. Maybe in March I'm going to have time to set up the website, but just in case I don't, then literalcatpod.start.page, which is where you can find a link to basically our entire web presence. It does what it says.
We are all over the web, the internet. One of the places we are on the internet, where a lot of people are on the internet, is email. Specifically, literalcatpod@gmail.com. You can use that to do lots of things, honestly. Send us game recommendations. Send us pictures of your cats. Request to be on the show. Or, get us in contact with somebody who else wants to be a guest. Give us ideas for characters. Send us pictures of your cats. Yeah, there lots of other things, too. Did I miss anything, Joel?
No, I think you got it.
Okay.
Now, if you want to find us, on social media or something, the buttons are all right there for that. But you can find us basically everywhere if you just go and look up Literal Cat Pod. You'll find our Twitter, which it's still called, our Blue Sky, our co-host. Actually, we haven't used the co-host in forever. It's there. The YouTube. Also, Literal Cat Pod.
So many places. The most popular social media sites were on there. We're not going to the mom and pop social media sites. Sorry, mom and pop social media sites, but maybe someday.
Co-host is kind of...
Yeah, that's fair. I've never used co-host personally, so I wouldn't know.
To be fair, we're barely using it right now anyway.
Yeah. Those are a lot of places you can find and interact with the show in some capacity, get at us and reply to some tweets, give us some YouTube comments, reply to some Blue Sky posts. Do those have a name? Or are they just posts?
People call them skeets.
Skeets? Okay. I
don't think Blue Sky calls them that, but users sometimes do.
Not officially endorsed. Got it. I can't imagine why they wouldn't officially endorse that. That's crazy. Such a catchy name.
Well, anyway, you can also rate and review the podcast on the podcast service of your choice. Or, if you're on YouTube, you can like, comment, and subscribe, all that stuff. But in all seriousness, if you're listening through a regular old podcast app, then leaving us a positive review or giving us 5 stars or just, leaving stars at all, I think, will boost our appearance in the algorithm. The stars boost our appearance in the algorithm. The words make us feel good. We have not seen any of the words yet, but y'all can fix that anytime you want to.
Absolutely. If you like the show enough and you want other people to see it, this is a good way to ensure that other people will get the chance to see it without you having to, post about it on your own.
You could post about it. You could. No one's stopping you.
Yeah, we appreciate that. Another way that you can interact with the show is in the comfort of your own home. You're listening to this because you probably like TTRPGs, right? Well, if you think a character or a system that we've covered is particularly interesting, you can go find every single character sheet that we've made in our Dropbox, which I believe is listed on the start page, but we do have a tiny link for it. You can go to bit.ly/literalcatpod, and you can grab any and all of those character sheets and download them, show them to your GM, be like, hey, check this out. It's pretty cool, right? And they'll definitely let you play as a cat.
For sure. Finally, and it was pointed out to me recently, we've never really explained on the show why our Patreon is called Badger Trove. Some people have been curious, they've asked, and we've never told the story before of how we came up with the name. It's not that interesting of a story, but if you know George Diaz of the Checkpoint podcast, the three of us were spitballing names one day, and we had like 3 picked out that we couldn't really decide between, and so we combined them. And like the 3 names originally had like some significance to like our goals for working together. And the final name didn't, but it was a compromise, and we liked it, so we kept it. But yeah, I went digging for those names, and the show could have been hosted on Badger Bevy, Sofa Stash, or Side Table Trove.
Yeah.
I think Badger Trove is better still.
Oh yeah, of all of those, yeah, Badger Trove is the better combination.
But if you wanted to make a cheap knockoff brand, there you go.
Yeah, there's some lists for you, or some names for you.
Yeah. But anyway, speaking of the Patreon, which I guess, no, that was the speaking of the Patreon. But back on topic, our Patreon has a thing going on. We have started our first poll. I think we announced last time that we have moved polls to the $2 tier from the $10 tier. Well, you can put it to use now. All through March, we are running our first poll on the next seasonal theme that we do. And we've got 2 bangers of a theme, honestly.
I'm so excited for these.
You want to do the honors?
Yeah, I was telling Joel earlier that I don't care which of them win. I'm happy for both of them. We have given y'all the option to choose from either 1, the Fall Spooktacular, or 2, Wild West Winter. And we will be playing games during whichever season, fall or winter, that fall into these categories. Do we have examples of what games we want to play, or no?
One moment. I can't think of any Wild West games off the top of my head, but like, I mean, Fall Spooktacular kind of speaks for itself. We're gonna do horror games, right? We're gonna do, I don't know, maybe some Call of Cthulhu, or some Cult, Divinity Lost, or some... I don't actually know that many horror games.
We'll figure it out. We got a little ways to go.
I know there's enough of them to fill out the months of September to November, so we'll get that together for you.
Yep.
And if you have ideas for that, feel free to send them in. It's not part of the poll, but we would appreciate the help.
Yeah, you can just hit up that email anytime, the aforementioned email.
Yep. Same thing with Wild West Winter. The only one that I know of, and I can't even remember the exact name of it, I just know it's a Savage World tack.
Oh?
It's not Weird West, it's Deadlands, that's the name of it.
Deadlands, nice.
Deadlands, the Weird West. That's the only one I know of.
Either way, I'm excited for both of these. I think either one of them would produce some really good, fun content. So I'm excited. All you have to do, if you want to participate and have some input on which ones we do, / which of the ones get chosen, just go over to patreon.com/badgertrove. Again, this poll option is in the $2 tier. You know, you got a couple extra bucks laying around the house. Yeah, I'm sure you can fish for some change in your couch cushions, and go ahead and vote on those poll, or vote on that poll.
Yeah. So I think that's it for the show. Let's see. You got anything to share for us?
I do. So you can find me on various corners of the internet, namely Twitter, Twitch, and TikTok at Avalon Alchemist. I'm there. I'm on Twitter and TikTok a little irregularly, but Twitch, I'm still trucking through the Resident Evil games. I just beat Resident Evil 2. Great game. So I'm moving on to 3, which as of this recording is probably happening tomorrow night. So by the time you all are hearing this, I will either be on 4 or 5. But yeah, you can go over to twitch.tv/Avalon Alchemist. Check those out. I do have like VODs up and stuff, but I believe they only show up for like 2 weeks. So if you want to see the old ones, you might be cutting it a bit close.
could always upload them to YouTube.
That's true, but I haven't saved like any from the first game or anything, so I don't know. Well, I'll figure that out. But that is all I have. Joel, what you got for us?
Well, you can find me by looking up my name spelled backwards, which is Denalo Lioge, on various social media platforms. Even though that's hard to pronounce and difficult to get people to search for, I will probably never change it because it's never taken. But what you can do instead is go to jholland.start.page, where you will find a convenient link to everything that matters. I am hoping that the Silent Mayhem under Springfield playtest is actually out by this point. I have been so distracted and or busy throughout both, really from December through February. So it's been much slower than I anticipated. I apologize for that. But it's probably done now. So check the show notes. This gives me a 2-week deadline if I'm not already there.
Didn't you say that last time?
Did I?
I don't know. I don't remember. Maybe you just said you were just working on it still.
Well, if I said I would be done by this episode, I lied.
It's okay. I'm an unreliable narrator, so...
Or I didn't. Check the notes.
Yeah, check the notes. Ooh.
Link will be there, probably. Maybe. I literally just have to finish writing up the worksheet for planning out the heist for the DM, so...
Heck yeah, dude.
But anyway, yeah.
We'll let you all get back to the show. Have fun listening. We'll see you in the next mid-roll. We're different people from recording to mid-roll.
Cool. So the next bit is attributes. And attributes, they all start at 1, and I think that's already on the sheet.
Yep.
Looks right.
Yeah. So you get... Let me just quickly check this. Okay, yeah. So if you look at the character sheet,
mm-hmm.
You'll see that the attributes are divided vertically into mental, physical, and social. Much like the paths, you will organize them into primary, secondary, tertiary again.
Okay.
So what would be primary for our cat? Likely physical, I would say. Though it's a cat, they scheme and plot.
I was about to say, if this cat wants to be a leader, social might be our number one.
It's true.
I think social... If we're looking at in that terms, we have more social skills than we do.
True.
Like we have higher powered social skills than we do anything else.
Mm-hmm.
You are very correct, yes. So are we saying social, mental, physical in that order, perhaps? Or social, physical,
I don't know.
Mental?
Our next best things are athletics and survival. So
I was leaning towards social, physical, mental.
Yeah, I think that's right.
That's very good.
Okay.
Because athletics and close combat are important skills.
Yeah, that's that's a good point. So for your primary, in this case social, you spread 6 points however you wish.
Ooh.
Presence will be charisma, manipulation, and composure is cool. Force of personality, how can you resist being influenced, for example. And how you keep your cool. So
I feel like we're not very good at subterfuge. So putting more than 1 extra point into manipulation feels a little off to me. I'm fine putting at least one of our points into it so that we can just have 2. But I don't know if I could justify putting anything more than that.
I like doing 3, 1, 2, presence, manipulation, composure.
Yeah. Because you feel like if you're a leader, you'd have to have really good presence. You're going up, giving a speech or whatever.
Yeah. Not only that, it matches really well with the Puss in Boots eyes.
Yeah.
It's manipulative, but it's also just, look how pretty I am.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay, so we can do that.
There we go.
That gives us 4 in presence, 2 in manipulation, and 3 in composure total.
Then on the next one, physical, which will be our secondary, 4 points.
Might, dexterity, and stamina. Ooh.
Might being strength, of course.
Gotcha.
Might and dexterity are the important ones, I think, just based on our skills.
Yes. You said we have 4 points to put?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and automatically put an extra into each of these. Now, do we want an extra point in stamina or no?
I don't think so. I think just based on our skills, we are used to settling things quickly and with grace.
Gotcha. I agree.
I have no complaints.
Okay.
Cool. And then for the last one, mental, 2 points.
Just for the listening audience, Austin decided to put 1 extra point in each of those, and neither of us complained, so we're moving on.
So, yeah, sorry. That puts might at 3, dexterity at 3, and stamina still at 1.
Yep. And then you said we had 2 points to spread around mental?
Yes.
Ooh.
All right.
So we have intellect, cunning, and resolve.
I kind of feel like we have to put both our points in cunning.
See, I was thinking both in intellect.
And my thought was 1 in cunning and 1 in resolve.
Oh, why resolve?
Just on the thought that this, the ambition of being a leader, you need a strong resolve to keep on that path.
That is a good idea.
And also on guiding your group as well.
I respect the logic.
I do too. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I think that's the way to go.
Okay, so that gives us 1 in intellect, 2 in cunning, and 2 in resolve.
Yeah. Now there's another step. You see that the attributes on the sheet on the horizontal also have categories. It's power, finesse, and resistance.
Yep.
That's called the approach. And you choose among one of them which one is the character's favorite approach. Power is, do they do things forcefully, brute force, or just try to, push through? Finesse, self-explanatory. And resistance being, do they just hunker down and just, hold their own until trouble passes, or they can get their own? I think if I'm gonna cajole, it was we do things with finesse.
Yeah, quickly and with grace.
Yeah, quickly and with grace. So perhaps finesse would be the favorite approach.
I think so.
Yeah. So on every attribute within that favorite approach, you give them 2 extra dots.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's great. So that puts us at 4 cunning, 5 dexterity, 4 manipulation.
We're really good at that.
Yeah.
The cool thing about the system is that in between games, you can change I think with a small cost of experience, you can change the approach.
Ooh.
So if at some point for you need your character is no longer, graceful, and it's more forceful, things happened in the game, you can change that.
That's cool.
Also, if at any point
that.
because of that, the attributes get over 5, they just overflow into attributes on the same type. So, for example, if you put it on power and you would put persuasion at 6 points, it would just go down to either composure or manipulation.
Oh, nice.
So if we ever got another dexterity point, we could boost our stamina instead.
Actually, at this point, it's no longer relevant. It's more in terms of when moving those 2 points around for the favored approach.
Oh, okay.
So if you moved it around, then might would be 5 dots and dexterity would be 3. But then, in that case, let's say with experience you raised your dexterity and then decide to move the approach again, then yes, you would have an overflow that would go somewhere else.
Okay.
Gotcha.
I get you now.
Now we're going into callings. Normally, Scions get 3, but it says that, origin characters only have 1 active. So we can choose 3, but only 1 will be primary, or we can choose 1. That's both are valid. The callings are archetypes. An archetype under which the character falls into. For example, if they're creators, guardians, healers, hunters, and I think we already have the one we need, which is leader.
Yep, I was looking at the list down here. So this is a calling, correct?
Yes.
I know some of our audience would be upset with me if I didn't point out warrior was an option here for this specific character.
The warrior cat.
That's true.
We're not doing that.
No.
You mentioned trickster before. The trickster is another option for cats.
That's great.
Same as hunter.
We already did a trickster demigod cat though, so
yeah.
Yeah, We like to come up with fresh ideas here as much as we can.
Now the top cat, eventually the cultist leader cat.
I did notice there was an option when choosing one of our paths, I believe. There was like a cult as an option. I was like, ooh. I was like, we could not only be a leader, we could be a cult leader.
How many games now have we had the option to be a cult leader and chosen something else?
Oh, so many.
It's always a possibility.
So many.
See, Apocalypse World, that was the last one.
Ooh, I have not played that. I need to play it. So yeah, just pick one and assign it one dot. When you get into the hero thing, you pick the other two, and you give them.
Gotcha.
So the next thing is knacks. Knacks are special abilities, great feats the characters have. They are tied to the different callings. There are also some that are you can have just anyone can have them.
Gotcha. Okay.
For example, this is a great one that it works for anyone. That is Aura of Greatness. Something about the Scion affects the people around them. They can be radically inspirational, the perfect confidant, or horrifically scary, depending on their demeanor or origin. Choose one social skill, leadership, empathy, or persuasion, and the Scion may add enhancement too. Basically, that means if you roll at least one success, you get 2 free ones.
Oh, it's here under any. I found you.
Yeah, as a bonus to that type of roll, once per session. That's one of them. A classic one from Scion is Send the Divine, which essentially is Highlander. You can sense other demigods or supernatural creatures. And what makes it really cool is another book described not really as a feeling, but it's incredibly sensory. Like you get it as a smell, a sound, a taste, and that's how you identify the different things.
So we could smell it on them.
Yeah. But let's look at leader. Leader must have some good one.
Leader. Okay. So those are Captain of Industry, probably not.
Nope.
Cloak of Dread. You project an aura of menace that terrifies and intimidates anyone who would dare cross you. Good Listener. When you make casual conversation, definitely not. Grand Entrance. When you make a first impression, roll your knack skill. On a success, the target remembers you favorably, granting you +1.
Enhancement on all social roles until the end of the session.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. I like that one.
Yeah. I love the idea of using the knack Grand Entrance, and most people's reaction are just like, oh, look, it's a cute kitty.
Yeah.
And then you just get an enhancement to all your social roles.
The other one that is really good, but this one might be in the cat's future, is Lighthouse of Society. In a tense and heated or chaotic situation, you stand as a beacon of certain leadership. Your presence is a bulwark against fear and panic. Just pretty cool.
That is a good one.
But I think Grand Entrance, perfect.
Yeah. I like that one for our starting.
Yeah, I was about to say, can you take more knacks later?
Yes, you can buy more.
Awesome. So yes, that.
But as a origin level character, you can only have one active at a time. Imagine like a video game, you equip the one that you're going to be using. In between sessions, you can switch them around.
Okay, I'll note Lighthouse of Society for future.
Yeah.
Okay.
For future players.
And what was the one under any? The Sense of the Divine. We get 3.
Yeah, Scent of the Divine.
So I think cats can see ghosts, so they might also be able to pick up other types of vibes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So next step is defense. First your movement. Your movement is athletics plus your highest of might or dexterity, which is going to be dexterity. So it's 8 is your movement. Your defense roll is your highest resistance attribute. So between resolve, composure, and stamina, the highest is composure. So that's 3. The way it works is when someone attacks you, you roll your defense pool, which is 3, and the number of successes, you remove that many dice from the attack roll.
Gotcha.
Oh, that's helpful.
Yeah.
And given that both origin and hero level characters only get successes on dice on 8, 9, and 10, fewer dice is terrible.
Yeah.
Health is the next step. Character has just straight up what you have there. Because the stamina is fairly low, we just straight up have what is listed there.
What is listed here, by the way, dear listeners, is 2 bruised, 2 injured, and 1 maimed.
And then taken out.
And taken out, correct, sorry.
Oh, it's so nice that someone will take him out on a date after they beat him up.
So if the stamina of the character were 3 or 4, you get a 3rd bruised. And if the stamina is 5, you get another bruised. So that's how the stamina affects your health.
Gotcha.
I don't think we have that.
Nope.
It's important to note that combat in Scion, you don't really deal a lot of damage. In fact, most attacks, no matter what you're using, will deal 1 point of damage. Because you get successes to bypass defense or whatever, and deal the damage, and the extra successes, you spend them on stuns. One of them is dealing damage, and then there's another 4, a bunch of successes that is deal 1 more point of damage.
Okay.
That is very much all that I think is important in terms of...
It says, that finishes the mechanical aspects of your character, but now is a good time to think about the things that make your character a character, not just a bunch of dots on a sheet. What do they look like? How do they dress? Who are their family and friends? Do they have any rivals? What's their name? Which is something that we have not discussed yet.
Yep.
Yeah. So we got to name this character, and then we got to...
Oh, there's one thing missing. Sorry.
Yep.
It's you also right now for customization you have 5 extra skill dots to spread wherever you want.
Oh.
And either 2 additional knacks or you have 1 extra attribute dot, and in this case it would be 2 additional knacks. Because one of the other option is 4 points of birthrights, but birthrights are only for heroes.
So, sorry, what was the first one was?
First is 5 extra skill points.
5 extra skill points. Ooh. Oh, man. And we can divvy these up anywhere, correct?
However you want. If you want to put 5 dots into occult at this point, you could. For example, to use an example.
As tempting as that sounds, I don't think we'll do that just yet.
No.
I like the idea of putting some points in integrity.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe only 1 or 2, but...
Let's do 2 for now, and if we decide to remove 1 later, that's fine.
Okay. We get 5, right?
Yes. So we have 3 more.
Yep.
Could boost our subterfuge.
I was thinking about adding just 1 point into subterfuge as an extra.
Sounds good to me.
Yep. That leaves 2 points, which could be used to bump any of the already high-level skills, just max them out.
Maybe an extra point in leadership?
Yeah, none of the other ones really make sense to add at this point, so we should probably focus on the skills that we've already taken. Leadership sounds good. We could put close combat up to a 3.
The 3 to give it that specialty?
Yeah.
Wait, would that give us a specialty at this point, or is that only at the earlier stage?
It doesn't say. So I would say, let's say no.
Okay. If someone knows better, you can fix it.
I think in my own games I said yes, but I suspect that would fall under house rule.
So we'll leave it blank for now. That will be up to you, dear listener, when you inevitably play this cat.
Yep.
Okay. And then you said we get 2 more knacks, correct?
One more attribute point.
1 more attribute, okay.
Maybe stamina up to 2 could be an option.
I was thinking either bringing stamina or intellect. I'm not sure. Because, I feel like a leader would want to be intelligent. Or, people would want an intelligent leader, correct?
Yeah.
That's fair. And again, our whole logic behind the placement of the physical dots was this cat decides things quickly and with grace.
Yeah.
So he's way more cunning than smart, very...
Yep.
He has mental speed, just not that much mental power.
Yep.
Yeah, but 1 more point of intellect does sound good.
Okay.
He needs to plan.
He needs to fill out his I was going to say magnum opus. That's not the word I'm looking for. I don't think Magna Carta is either.
Manifesto?
I think that's the word I was looking for, but I didn't want to say it. Because I was like, well, it's what I'm looking for, but it doesn't sound quite right still.
Manifesto, maybe?
Hey, we're supposed to leave that cat pun for the end, okay?
Okay, that then is very much the cat. And the extra 2 knacks you already picked, so...
Yep.
Cool.
But we do still need a name.
Yep. We could always go to our handy how cat owners name their pets.
True.
Style 1, regular person. Style 2, food and drink. Style 3, musical reference. Style 4, mythology and folklore.
I think it's gotta be
Style 5,
4,
animal
right?
encrypted. We could go ironic and not do that.
True.
I'm not a good example. Most of my cats have been named after video game
Hey,
characters.
same. Video game or TV show.
I feel like this cat should have a pet store and or animal shelter type name.
I was thinking the same thing. But I've seen some pretty wild names from animals at animal shelters. Because sometimes people name them and then give them to the animal shelter.
I've seen...
Yeah.
I someone who got a cat very recently
Mm-hmm.
and actually tried to adopt one. In the end, there were none available. But most of the cats I saw that were available for adoption, the names were bland as hell. Just a normal person name. Yeah.
Well, here's just some that people pulled off Pet Finder. Like, there's Dipstick the cat, Rorschach,
Should name it Worcestershire.
Thicken Nugget, Big Mac.
I love Big
Business
Mac.
Frog.
I love Big Mac.
Mac's very
Big Mac is
good.
the best name for our leader cat.
Yeah. This is our boss,
Mr. Toast,
Big Mac.
Yeah.
Slurpee, Freeloader, Jake Gyllenpaws, Velcro, Mosquito 21.
What does that mean?
What the hell?
What does it mean? Mosquito 21? Why 21?
I don't know. Maybe there was a litter of 21 cats and they named them all Mosquito.
That's a huge cat litter, Joel. I don't know if you know how many cats usually come in a litter.
I assume it's less than that.
It's a lot less than 21.
We got Witherspoon, her sister without her spoon.
What sucks is I know for a fact somebody named their cat that.
That's actually quite genius.
Constructive criticism.
What if we named the cat?
Are those 2 cats or a single one? Constructive and criticism.
Constructive criticism is one
What
animal.
about Wither Fork, huh?
Sunflower, aka Trainwreck.
That's not. Oh,
Then there's just a random Chihuahua on this list named Naughty Wilbur. Big Boy Beef.
oh, Beef is just a good name for a cat.
I feel like we could get in some dicey water if McDonald's ever hears this and we've named a cat Big Mac. But Big Boy Beef
Big Boy Beef is a good one, yeah.
gives us that same vibe.
I like Big Boy Beef.
Yeah,
And
me
now,
too.
is this
It's
boy
good.
with a Y or I?
Now, the Pet Finder thing had Y, but we can do whatever we want.
It's true.
I just like spelling boy with an I. I know this isn't how language works, but I like to feel like if I type boy with an I, it makes it gender neutral.
Weirdly enough, that tracks.
Yeah, I understand the logic. Big Boy Beef, by the way, is a domestic short hair. So, if we need a physical description, we could just do this cat. We could just say this random animal shelter cat it escaped as a kitten in an alternate reality and gained powers of the divine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or went on a quest for them.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah, it's white with like a black kind of cap on the top of its head and ears. This is fur, by the way. It's all a fur pattern. I can...
Yeah, you want to...
If someone else wants to describe this better, here's a picture of Big Boy Beef.
Oh. He's got like a reverse widow's peak on his hair. It's like
No, it's like it's like it has black hair and like a wig.
Yeah, it looks like it's wearing a wig.
That's the hair of the leader.
Yeah, I'll type that in. Black wig-like hair on top. Look at that. What a cool looking guy.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we've made a cat.
Yeah.
I think we've made a cat.
No rules broken.
No. I don't it doesn't there's no real intention to play as a human in this, so
Not at all. I mean, some of the concepts for characters in, for example, Hero, where you get into the more metaphysical stuff, is that you can literally be someone carved out of wood by a god and given sentience.
Oh, so yeah.
Like that's literally the example that's given. Like a scion of Loki who's been carved out of wood.
Yeah. Loki carved from living ash.
Yeah.
And
that's the one they use for the character creation stuff in Hero.
Do you think
Oh, that's also an example here that's an origin path option here in this book too.
Awesome. So yeah, 0 rules broken.
And as I mentioned before we started recording, in one of the games I run, the game where we switch systems, our home world, so to speak, our hub world, is Scion. And one of the characters is a cat.
Oh, wow.
A scion of a Mafded, an Egyptian goddess, and that was, let's call it, elevated, and is now walking around as a human.
Mm.
But
All right.
have a relic that allows them to transform back into a cat at any time.
What do you know? So, is there anything else we need to note here about this character specifically?
Well, one of the things that the paths do tell you to think about is that the path doesn't just give you skills. The path also gives you anything that is associated with it. For example, our path of Top Cat comes with contacts or resources or, base of operations, for example. Those sort of things. For example, you could use the society path to help define some of the cats under Big Boy Beef's command, which is where you put in contacts, for example.
Where is this at in the book?
In the description for paths during character creation.
Okay.
If you go on the bookmarks, you should be able to.
Got it.
It says all the paths, gives you contacts and resources, and basically anything that if, for example, you choose as a path police officer, then your path gives you access to, a cruiser, a gun, support if you need it, that sort of thing. Where the paths are professions or even your membership into an organization, anything that logically would be yours in that circumstance is yours, just from applied logic.
We already have a cat with a gun.
This is a cat with a crew.
Yeah. We already have a cat with a crew too, actually, now that I think about it. But that was a crew of vampires.
Yeah, I was thinking about that about halfway
I
through.
sense that was Megan's work.
That was Megan's work, yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, so would you like to plug anything here at the end, like your YouTube channel or anything?
Yeah, just check out. I have 2 YouTube channels, one dedicated to more video game stuff, and another one for all the tabletop RPGs. The more general gaming is the Lawful Geek. I'm right now doing a full big retrospective on the Legacy of Kain series, which is a video game series I love with all my heart. The other channel is called Lawful Good Media, and that's where all the tabletop stuff goes. Right now, still uploading all the previous seasons and such, and all the new stuff is being recorded, so it's going to be a bit of a while before anything new starts coming out. But, anyone feel free to check it out, and thanks for inviting me. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we were glad to have you. Austin, you got a cat pun for us?
I do. This is a family who's over-enthusiastic about giving their pets gifts on Christmas. Go ahead, little Timmy. Open up the next gift. This one's not for you. It's for somebody else who's a little special. Oh boy, Bob, I can't wait to see what you got. Oh my god! Mom, this is gonna go great for Snowball. It's the cat's pajamas. That's so cool.
I don't know if you heard, but I crinkled a receipt for you so we can edit that in.
Thank you. Yeah, no, Discord definitely cut that one out.